contradiction in asking to go to consult, to engage our allies, so that this is not a decision that we take behind their backs to say, these are the resolutions of the Congress of the SACP, but we are not only going to be consulting allies, we're going to be consulting wider than that, a whole range of other progressive forces that we may actually broadly share the same orientation and the same interests. We are not going to seek permission from anyone, but at the same time we want to say, given these new conditions, how should they actually be working together? Because we still believe that the alliance is still relevant. Capacity for elections. I don't believe that there is any organization that has got ready-made capacity to contest elections. You know, even organizations that have been contesting. We will cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah. Alex.
We have printed for you the full resolution on state power and regulations. You have it. Let me see if there is any further questions. Okay. 1 and 2.
Jacob from report. How does this decision differ from the previous one, the decision about the elections? How does it precisely differ from the previous one? Secondly, did you take any decision about how your MP should vote on the state powers?
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Alvin Sinclair from SABC TV News. Can you please give us the reason why, as we understand that the delegates were pushing for the SACP to contest the elections by as soon as 2019? Why was 2019 removed from the declaration as it stands at the moment? Does the party have any indication of when the party would be ready to contest the elections by? And the final question, and this is just something that came out of Twitter now, which boggles the mind really, is if you consider that the SACP will be contesting the elections independently, can we then safely say that President Jacob Zuma and his cabinet have members of an opposition party?
Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, you know.
I suppose the challenge in South Africa is that we are not yet used to the changing realities that are facing all of us. That is why we want to put things in black and white. If I can start with the last question. That there may be possible. Firstly, our resolutions say we may or may not contest separately in the context of a reconfigured alliance. That is why we are talking of a roadmap, which also will be informed by the kinds of engagements that we have. So, allied formations contesting elections independently does not necessarily make an opposition. That's not where we are at this point in time, insofar as we are concerned. Jacob, you're right. Well, all what this resolution does is strengthens the 2007 resolution, because we had taken a resolution in 2007 where we gave ourselves two options: contest elections under an ANC list or contest elections through separate lists with an aim maybe of forming some kind of coalition. We simply strengthened that. The problem with the 2007 resolution is that we didn't fully implement it. Maybe we're at the Pulukwane hype, if we were to be quite honest. You know, that sort of, we went some way, we established the Alliance Political Council, which was part of reconfiguration, for instance. And also there was a different style, somewhat, of operating inside the alliance. We would not have come out of here with a detailed thing out of a Congress. We've taken these resolutions, and then Congress has said, go and work at the modalities and consult and engage. And one milestone will be a report to the Augmented Central Committee in late November, early December. Jacob, I forgot your second question.
Have we taken a decision?
No. First of all, the SACP does not have members of parliament. It's the ANC that has got members of parliament, amongst whom are members of the SACP. Our stance has been clear on this matter. We'll be guided by ANC as members of the ANC, but at the same time we'll also listen to what the SACP says. Much as we are not SACP MPs, but on such matters, we can't also just turn a blind eye to what the SACP says. What the SACP will say, we don't know. Yeah.
No, I think it's important that you understand this resolution as a process resolution. It's a process resolution, and the significant part of this year's resolution as compared to the previous one is that this one calls for a roadmap, and if you like, you can talk about milestones. That's the significant part of this resolution. Hence, then, we said we will come back either in a special congress or whatever. That's why we don't want to put a date. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to take the last round of questions and allow you time to find. 1, 2 at the back, 3, and you will be the 4th and the last one. If you can help us circulate the microphone, yes.
From Japan. I'm not sure if I'm getting you correctly. Most of your delegates in the commission were pushing for you to contest elections, and they want state power. Are you now going back on the resolution by not giving a particular time frame of when you are going to contest elections? Are you saying that if a particular candidate you want doesn't win the ANC conference in December, you then call a special national conference next year for you to contest the 2019 elections? Is that essentially what you are saying? Thank you.
On the reconfigured alliance, can you please perhaps explain to us how this reconfigured alliance would look like, what the SACP would want that alliance to look like from the deliberations of this Congress? And will that special Congress happen next year? I just wanted on the record. I know ANC was reporting that last week that there will be a special Congress early next year after the election conference. Is it going to happen or not?
I also just want to clarify whether this resolution on the alliance, does the SACP still has faith in the ANC-led alliance? Do you guys still think the ANC is leading this alliance in the right direction?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, TV from U24.
Where is the resolution?
Is it supposed to be seen as a threat to the alliance that if they don't pay attention to...
Say that again, sorry. Say that again.
My question is an add-on almost to what some girl from Jacaranda asked. Is this supposed to be seen as a threat to the alliance that if it doesn't listen to what the SACP is asking for, then it must stand being torn apart? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's take the answers and close the session. Thank you.
Tishamkulu, you want to say something?
No.
Or yourself?
No.
You want me to start?
No, let me start.
Okay.
Yeah, no, thanks. I think the first one is that we're not waiting for December. That's why we've taken the resolution to start with. So we're not waiting for anything to happen in December or convene our special national congress after. We've taken the resolution, and I think that's very important. And secondly, is that the roadmap will be presented to the augmented Central Committee in December this year. This is our last Central Committee meeting where we invite the participation of our district secretaries and other categories of members of our provincial executive committee who are not necessarily sitting in every Central Committee meeting. So the roadmap will be presented there. The roadmap will include a number of things. The whole notion, for instance, what we mean by reconfiguration will be thoroughly outlined. And those are the issues that we will engage with our alliance partners.
But already in our resolution, reconfiguration is defined there. I don't know whether you've seen it.
If you read the resolution properly.
Huh? If you read the resolution properly, it does talk about. For instance, one of the things it says, the alliance must be the strategic center of power. That's what reconfiguration is. It can't be that we all work together and then the ANC alone goes to actually make decisions. There must be a commitment to that. That is very important in terms of what we are saying. But the resolution. No, I don't want really. I mean, I want to underline what Comrade Sol is saying, that we have seen as if we are waiting for December. The ANC conference in December is very important because it's likely to determine the future of the ANC itself, which in fact may have an impact in terms of the trajectory of the country. There's no doubt about that. We don't want to minimize the importance of that conference. But as we say, we have not waited for that conference. For instance, let's just be frank and be honest with you. We have not engaged COSATU, for instance, seriously on this. As the Communist Party, we can never make the mistake of wanting to contest elections. For instance, when we don't have a very firm backing, for example, from COSATU, from the workers, and beyond. We feel that we can't just go back to COSATU and say as a fait accompli, we are contesting elections, come. We need to have a very structured, serious discussion to say, the Congress feels this way, what are your views? So is the ANC. What are your views? Here are the things that we feel needs to happen. It's not a threat to anyone. Remember, we are an independent political party. And also, you will recall that, not even you will recall, we say it here, the manner in which the alliance functions must change. Reconfiguration that we are talking about. We need to discuss that, to debate that. Firstly, whether the alliance as a whole in principle agrees to that reconfiguration. If there's agreement, then we are able to sit and engage and say, okay, how would that reconfigured alliance? If then the alliance doesn't agree, then it means the future of the alliance actually hangs in the balance. Because we have now been mandated by our own Congress to go and seriously engage on this matter. We hope our allies will actually be prepared to engage with us. But it's not a threat. We do not operate. Yes, we still have faith in the alliance. Alliance has got big difficulties at the moment. One of the things that is bedeviling relations in the alliance is these connections with Guptas. As the SACP, we just can't stand this. We think it's outrageous, it's embarrassing, it's humiliating that an immigrant Indian family can come and actually control our resources in the manner that it is actually doing. That has caused huge strains. That's why as the SACP we have lost confidence in the president, amongst other things. But still, we cannot say we are washing our hands off the alliance. We never operated like that as the Communist Party. We have had great difficulties before, but then we say, we still feel that we must do all we can to save the alliance. That's our approach. Thank you. Bye, thank you. Really. Not necessary. Not necessary. You see, let me just say this so that I don't like to leave the media as if we have an answer to your question.
Yeah.
We may not say what you want, but nevertheless, we should try our best to we're in an extremely fluid situation, generally, in the country, politically. If you looked at our political report, amongst other things said, we must focus on our strategic goals, but also we must have tactical flexibility. So we will have actually to be monitoring developments. Our economic situation is not in very good shape. We hope it will get better. If it gets worse, it may require that we do certain things or change the way we are actually doing things. We are not waiting for the December conference. But what happens in the December conference will have implications for all of us. So that is why we are saying that we have to be alert.
Thank you, comrades, for having been with us since we started. And I'm calling you comrades because I'm a media worker as well. So, and that's our regards to editors and let the work continue.
And they mustn't forget to give us what they've written.
Usebenzekile azibuyile Congress.
Siyabonga. Asambe senga lesithole sandwich.
Well, that there was the concluding press briefing from the South African Communist Party as they end their week-long 14th South African Communist Party National Congress in Boksburg in the east of Johannesburg. And the General Secretary there, Blade Nzimande, just reiterating that the changing political reality in the country now may see the South African Communist Party contesting elections independently, and that's if the alliance is not reconfigured. Blade Nzimande also saying that this does not mean that the South African Communist Party will become an opposition party, but will still be in coalition with the ANC. And he also made it clear that the SACP party line will dictate how the SACP members who are ANC MPs will vote in Parliament. And also speaking at the same press briefing, Solima Paile, the first Deputy General Secretary, who has just been elected in that role during this Congress, saying that Congress resolutions will be tabled before alliance partners for further engagement. And Blade also coming in there, that's Blade Nzimande, the General Secretary, saying the decision to independently contest elections is not a threat, but hinges on a reconfigured alliance partnership. And reiterating as well that the Gupta family influence on the ANC and government are at the core of the problems bedeviling the tripartite alliance. Now, in his closing remarks earlier, the SACP General Secretary Blade Nzimande says there is need for a vibrant SACP leadership. He also called for the visibility of the party in all governing spheres of the country.
We must not have passengers. Let's underline that in the part. We must resolve that we must remove all passengers from positions of responsibility and leadership. All of us will have to do twice, if not thrice more than what we've been doing when we arrived here. The most important message we need to take back is that we must go out to strengthen all our structures at all levels. Most importantly, comrades, we need strong SACP and YCL branches. We cannot be able to drive a campaign to build working class hegemony in all key sites of power if we are weak. Even more important, we need to think about structures that will enable the SACP and the working class broadly to have an organizational presence in all key sites of power. Communists must be everywhere.
While the South African Communist Party's second Deputy General Secretary, Chris Mahlaku, has announced that the party will contest future elections independently. The modalities of how it will be done is yet to be clarified. Mahlaku was addressing delegates at the closing of the party's 14th Congress in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni.
After considerable debate at Congress, we have resolved that while the SACP will certainly contest elections, the exact modalities in which we do so needs to be determined by a way of a concrete analysis of a concrete reality and through the process of active engagement with worker and progressive formations. All delegates to this historic 14th National Congress, we pledge to actively carry forward our resolutions. We commit to carry forward our vanguard role in our places of work, in our communities, places of learning, and in other key sites of power. We commit to work with a sense of confidence, but also humility, in service of the working class and the poor. As a patriotic South African party, we are also a party of internationalism. Our struggle is a struggle in solidarity of the exploited and oppressed.